Hello, everybody. This is Joseph Caristana talking from the studios of TVU, hosted by the Med Academy of Cultural Diplomacy, partnership of Ibuni e-learning platform and Iberia. I would like to say hello to Edmund and like to say hello to Chidoben. We are the top management of Ibuni e-learning platform. We are based in Italy, Rome, and we have also studios in South Italy. I'm talking from the studios of South Italy, Rizziconi, province of Reggio Calabria. This is our new live session. I invite all of you to start booking live to register your presence during these live sessions. This live session is something regarding a course called augmented reality, virtual reality, and mixed reality. Now, let me quickly share and start, let's say, some observations, personal observations. I understand that this is a brand new platform, and all the students from Nigeria has to get used how to understand all the features of this cutting edge e-learning platform. Our team in these last weeks have been working hard to improve this platform. And also our help desk is working hard to give you assistance. So the learning curve, how to use Ibuni e-learning platform is really short. I simply invite you to go through the platform, follow the instructions, follow the tutorials, and start reading the content. Today, I would like to explain how to read the content and how to give feedback after you read a slide. We will go through this introduction, but now let me let's say hello. Hello. I think the chat is working, so I would like to invite you to use the live chat we have activated. As you see, we are working hard to update all the features step by step. This is not a race. We will absolutely bring everybody in the front line, and all together we will discover the content of these courses. No one will be left behind, and we will have awareness that these new platforms are not easy. So, reason why I will now invite you to use the chat on this live platform. The chat is on. The chat is here. I just have written hello. We can also use the chat of our WhatsApp group. Today we will have a special guest. A special guest means one of you. So one of the students will be invited to come on board of this e-learning platform. Let me see who filled the form to become a special guest. And I'm really glad to see that there are many subscriptions. Virtual reality, augmented reality. So let's start with, here is Charity asked to become a special guest. So let me find his, if we will be able to invite him to come on board. A few minutes, we will wait the others to get connected. So we're waiting a few minutes so the others will be connected to our live session. Today we'll talk about virtual reality, augmented reality, and mixed reality. It's 4 p.m. here in Rome, so let's wait a few minutes to give all the others the possibility to get connected. Just a few minutes and we'll start. Okay, 1 minute passed. Let's wait another 2 or 3 minutes and we'll start. Okay. So start the configuration of your audio, your video. And in the meantime, I will invite one of our special guests who asked to join us. Okay, so there are many. I would like to ask if somebody of this group is interested to become special guest. So we will be able to. You can drop a message right now on this group. I will write now a message. Once we become special guest now. So I sent a message, and for sure, 5-10 minutes. Also have feedback, and this feedback will be useful to improve the platform. I'm also inviting you to okay, so let's start. We waited 3 minutes. I think we can start. There's no reason to delay the waiting of others. So there's a subgroup called group. We are starting now the live streaming. So in the last live session, we were talking about the term of a virtual reality. Virtual reality is a computer-generated environment, machines and objects. Then we went through the other slide of chapter 1, talking about the origins and how the past. So virtual reality has a long history, even if it is used now by millions of people around the augmented reality and mixed reality. On slide 3, there's a video that we have shared. Chapter 4 of chapter 1, I'm going on the future trends, talks about the future trends of virtual reality. I am repeating fast all the issues, all the topics of chapter 1. The future trends of virtual reality, as specified in this slide, as technology continues to evolve, so too will the applications and persistence of vision. Virtual reality and augmented reality are pushing the boundaries of how we experience visual media. So, what does this mean? This means that these kind of technologies are creating a new environment called immersive environment. Immersive environment generates, let's say, a mental state of transition. We living in our reality are automatically transferred to a digital, non existing reality, which is an immersive reality. Our brain generates something in which we dive into. So it is a mental state of transition from reality to an environment which is not real, called digital, immersive. I'm inviting you also to use the YouTube chat system, which has been activated. So if you have any questions or any observations, we can reply instantly. Let me also check the WhatsApp group once a while. History of virtual reality. On chapter 1, okay, let's go back to future trends. And now let me explain. In this session, we will explain how to use the platform to read the content, to study the content, and once you understand the content, you must give us feedback. So let's see the term mark as complete. As you see, there's a checkbox, mark as complete. This checkbox is beside every title. What does this mean? This means that once you read the content and once you understand the content, you can send us a signal. You can send us a communication that this slide has been understood and you also studied all the content of this slide. Let's do a check here. You see, marked as complete. In other words, means that you have seen the content, you made a careful reading of the content, and you also understood the content, and you can simply mark it as complete. This is registered in our database. So in real time, who is studying, who is going ahead with all the lessons? Let's make another test. Virtual reality public spaces. Now, I'm reading here this short phrase. This image tradition stimulated the creation of a series of media. And obviously, this content for me is really easy. From futuristic theater designs, stereotype icons, and 3D movies. So I am reading the content. I understand the content. I read the text appear. Mark as complete. Mark as complete means that I am going further. I am reading all the slides so I can go ahead. Now let's stop for a minute this sharing. I would like to invite you to use the chat that we have on our YouTube channel. The chat feature has been updated and activated by our Ibuni management team. So it is a good way to create interaction. Why is it so important? Why is it so important to click on each screen to show that you are reading the content and to show your understanding the content? Because as soon, I will write it on the chat, we will start with the interviews. So soon we will start with interviews. Audience. development. I'm sending a message now. So I'm inviting you now to use the chat, and the live chat has been activated together with. Okay, thank you very much, Charity. Finally, people is starting to interact with us. I would like to thank. So I will say this is a great result. We are testing together the new features of YouTube Studio live broadcasting system, and I'm really glad to see the interaction of the Doctor of Charity, and I would like so to create environmental high risk situations, training pilots, training of the team engage in a training program. As we see here, also snipers have been using to enhance and to get prepared for a real world. Technology, it did not and never became a standard. Standard means a technology that is approved by the big companies. A patented technology becomes a standard with over 50% of main players in the worldwide marketplaces accept kind of technology. So we can consider Sensorama as a project, but obviously it never became a standard. In the 60s, we also had another scientist called Ivan Sutherland that was really near to the earlier stage of what has been developed after. The help before Ivan Sutherland created glasses that were attached to the ceiling of the room and with a computer. These are the prototypes invented in the earlier stage of the development process of helmets. Here's another example, as we see, in the 70s, Thomas Furness created also a head tracking helmet. So these are projects, as I told before, never became standards, but experimental projects that have been created by visionaries, by scientists, primarily for government reasons, to train defense departments and military departments, and then to release this technology and to let this technology be used by the civil society. And the big gaming companies used this technology to create helmets for entertainment. Now, let me go back to another slide. In the meantime, I'd like to stop sharing and see if we have any questions. Okay, let me test the group. Please use the YouTube live chat. We activated the YouTube live chat. So get connected to YouTube. So get connected to, because we have activated today the YouTube live. So comments are welcome. I would like to explain that this is not a one-way communication lesson. This is a two-way and it is an interactive environment where I talk, but I would like also to receive interaction from the viewers. Once a while, we will go through the slides, but it is really important to understand that this is something. What is Ibuni e-learning platform? It is not a traditional place of education and of training. It is a co-thinking space where instructors share their experience with students. So all you are invited to take part of our discussion. Now let's go through some great videos that I have found and we will now share. I'm now sharing the video that we have found. To mission planning. The use of a virtual reality technology enhanced understanding and experimentation. So, one of the most important applications of virtual reality in NASA is the training. So, the simulation of activities is the simulation of human body movement activity. In their virtual reality laboratory, astronauts experience immersive situations and immersive simulations. Okay, let's now go through the slide. What is virtual reality? There is a very, very interesting video that you can check by yourself. And let's quickly jump on the last slide of chapter 2. I would like to explain how to mark the content. Each slide has a check mark, has a checkbox. Once you read the content, you must give feedback to our platform. So we know in real time who is studying and who is advancing in the program. So in this case, we have the origin of virtual reality. Or the last slide is NASA and virtual reality. Once you read the content, you can read it as many times as you want. You must click on the checkbox. Once you click on the checkbox, you will find marked as complete. Let's see what happens. I click marked as complete. As you see, it remains clicked. If I go back on the slide, as I did now, I simply unchecked the checkbox. If you are sure about the content and you understood the content, you must mark it as complete. And here it again, the checkbox is marked, is complete. Okay, now let's go through chapter 3. 1 second, just to see if we have some kind of interaction among our students. So, no, okay, so we will continue the live interaction discussion with chapter 3. Okay. What is augmented reality? Augmented The educational apps are powerful learning tools that boost engagement and motivation across subject areas. Reality, is something that extends the environment and the reality in which we are living. Augmented reality educational apps can be used for spark engagement through movement and lifelike exploration. Also, we can use augmented reality to visualize and experiment with abstract concepts. Use augmented reality to tell stories in a new way. This is really nice to storytelling. So to tell stories in a new way. Uh, get students moving and exploring, and also interact with online resources otherwise not available. Chapter 3 also says a specific question: what is augmented reality? Augmented reality refers to the real time integration of digital information into the user's environment. So, this means, what does augmented reality refers to the real time integration of that? Let's imagine this reality. With augmented reality, we can add more blocks of layers of information, which are obviously in a digital format. So let me explain this better. So augmented reality is something that is a bit different, like virtual reality. Augmented reality adds information in our scenario, in our real scenario. Let's see this perspective here. We can imagine a block, a block of digital, a block of digital data popping up and adding like a layer on this into this information popping up after an interaction. So after a simple interaction. So let me continue with other. So what is the difference between augmented reality and virtual reality? Both technologies are known for their enriched experience that brings together a virtual world experience that brings together a virtual world and the real world with enhanced 3D visuals. So, what can we say about augmented reality? Almost any person with a smartphone can access to augmented reality. For example, with this smartphone, I can generate environments of augmented reality, making it more than virtual reality. So let's see what does it mean. For example, today with this smartphone, if I download an app, I can obviously use an app to generate let's say new digital worlds, environments, get those new digital worlds and environments and integrate those worlds into this scenario. So I am enriching this environment with augmented components. With an app and through the camera of the app, we can generate added value of information. So let's go back now to the slide and see what else the slide can tell us. So, almost any person with a smartphone can get access to augmented reality, making it more efficient. That's really interesting. What is virtual reality? Virtual components to another level, producing a computer generated simulation of an alternative. These immersive situations can create almost any visual or place imaginable. So they can create almost any visual place imaginable for the player. And what is the difference? So what is the difference? Augmented reality and virtual reality. The distinctions between virtual reality and augmented reality come down to the devices they require and the experience itself. Augmented reality uses a real world setting while virtual reality is completely virtual. So, augmented reality uses a real world, adding blocks of data or blocks of information as digital layers into the real world. We can use a helmet to click on a plant to see the pop-up information of the plant. So what's the name of the plant? What's the category of the plant? How can we help the plant to grow better? All kind of useful information. Augmented reality users control their presence in the real world. What does this mean? We can move into the real world, extending the boundaries and the barriers of this world, adding more layers of information in augmented reality. In virtual reality, users are simply controlled by the system, by the PC. This is a great difference. So, in other words, in augmented reality, there's more freedom because it extends the boundaries and it empowers the real world with more structured information. Let's see another difference. Virtual reality requires a headset device or another kind of device, which can be a data suit, which can be a data glove or a data skin or any other device available on the market. The difference between virtual reality and augmented reality can also be based on what kind of tool we need. With augmented reality, we only need a smartphone. So with only the smartphone, we can generate blocks of information to be added like a brick and to build a bigger wall. This kind of new information generated can be viewed with a smartphone, and we can also use other devices like glasses or helmets. Let's see the last difference. Augmented reality enhances both the virtual and real world, while virtual reality only enhances a fictional reality. This was chapter 3. Now let's see what is mixed reality. Now, before reading and going through mixed realizations from our audience. So if you have any questions, any observations, here we are again. So I can continue. It seems that I can continue to share the screen. Okay. So let's see now the difference between virtual reality, augmented reality, and mixed reality. The term mixed reality was coined by Milgram and Kishno in a paper in 1994 called The Taxonomy of Mixed Reality Virtual Devices. So we are talking about 1994, a long time ago. What happened in 1994? Two university researchers, Milgram and Kishino, have written a paper. The name of the paper was Taxonomy of Mixed Reality Virtual Devices in 1994. Mixed reality is an hybrid technology where the real world merges with a virtual stimuli. It includes augmented reality, virtual reality technologies that overlay virtual objects over physical entities. So it is a third environment. It is a third place where the first two technologies are mixed. Virtual reality with augmented reality, generating mixed, a lot of structured information. Mixed reality technology is the outcome of fusing the physical world. Mixed reality can be experienced using special devices like Microsoft HoloLens or applications downloaded and installed on mobile phones. So I would like to remember, once you read the slides, you must click on the checkbox called Mark as Complete. Mark as Complete means that you're going through the slides and you must give evidence to the platform. And so you must give evidence to the Ibuni management team that you are doing your homework, reading the content of these slides. The content of these slides. Every slide that you read, and only after reading the slide, you must click on the checkbox. Mark as complete. What happens when you click on the database? And we know that hundreds of students are finally following the courses and they want to study more and more to do exams and to get their certificates. So we know that we know in real time at which level of knowledge they are, how they are studying, how slow they are studying, how fast they're. Why we want to monitor the studies of the students is to help, to give support, to give technical assistance to the students, to the workers, or to all the people belonging to lifelong learning programs. We are here to help. We are here to assist. and we are here to bring education to the higher level. Let's now stop sharing. I would like to invite somebody in the chat or somebody that has any kind of question, any kind of observation to do. He can write something here in the chat. Okay. I'm ready to respond. We will dedicate the last 10 minutes to questions, observations, and other kind of exercises. In the meantime, I will also like to explain that once you finish reading the content, as I said before, you must start clicking the checkbox and give us evidence that you are following the courses. What does this mean? Once you reach over 75% of the content of the live courses, we will start with the so-called interviews. Interviews are one-to-one communication processes, but they can also be 1 to 10 or 1 to 25. So they can also be focus groups. So it depends about how we want to design this multilateral interaction between instructors and students. It is really important to measure the level of knowledge of our students. So we are not here to waste time. We are here to give value to our time. Time is precious, so we don't have to wait too much to start. Let's start fast, and let's start joining forces. If you have any questions, I am inviting you to write something on the chat of this live tube chat. Let me check also if there is something written here. No. Okay. So let me dedicate now the last 10 minutes to the other slides of our program. I'm sharing my screen again. So, mixed reality architecture. Mixed reality is the technology that the physical with the virtual to provide upcoming evolution in human, computer, and environmental interactions. So we're talking about interactions. Before it, we had mainframes, PCs, and smartphones. Now the concept of augmented reality, virtual reality, and mixed reality are emerging fast, which are emerging really fast, which means that the mainstream but for consumers and businesses. We also have mobile augmented reality. It is really important. I would like to focus the attention that before or immediately after following, let me stop for 1 second because we're reaching 1 hour. I'm really glad that all of you are here present. It is really important to go to the student's dashboard to book the live session. So we must know who is following our live lessons. So you can book into book live. You will find the button in the student's dashboard. You have to select the course. Right now, 2 courses are updated, virtual reality, augmented reality, and mixed reality. So this course is already uploaded. And the second course, cybersecurity, is uploaded. So all the people that are following must give evidence of their presence. And that can be done through the student's dashboard. Clicking on the button, book live session. That's really important. Dedicate these last 10 minutes if you have any kind of questions, observations, and whatever. Let me share now for the last 10 minutes my screen again. So let's jump to chapter 5. Chapter talks about the use of this kind of technology by NASA and by military departments together. It's really short. So the USA agency, space agency called NASA, played a significant role in the 90s and in the 80s regarding these kind of technologies. The space agency employed the tool to simulate and train astronauts for space missions. What does this mean? Also, space economy has been using these emerging technologies for simulation, for training of their personnel. And how did they do that? By creating virtual environments. But why did they do that? Let's say how, as we said, how? By creating realistic virtual environments. But why? They created these environments to practice, to give evidence and to show critical tasks. So in this way, the result was that astronauts, trainees were able to become familiar or jumping into the real space. So it was so near to the real world that so using this kind of enhanced training, they also contributed to push and to refine virtual reality technology itself. And it also pushed the boundaries of virtual reality technology, motion tracking, and realistic simulations. In the late 80s and 90s, also the huge worldwide consumer marketplace was interested in these kind of technologies. So we saw the big main players like Microsoft, Sony, and many others jumping in to build their own gaming kits made of helmets, data gloves, data suits, and the next emerging data skins. So while their success was limited due to technological constraints, they laid the foundations for future innovations, generating excitement and interest in virtual reality among the general public. What does this mean? When a new emerging sector is noticed, it is also noticed by investment funds. Many startups are born and are financed by investment funds. This is how, when a technology, a patented technology, is chosen to become a worldwide device, we have a standard. Today, in the world, there are more than 5 standards of gaming. The main players are, as you know, the first 3 or 2 is Microsoft, Sony, and some others. They did not only invest in the technology, they did not only invest in 20 or 30 years in research and development. They created the foundation to find a standard so the whole world can play. Many companies can use the same technology. Many companies can use the same technology. Many governments around the world can choose the same technology. And in other words, to create an environment of interoperability. So, with the same rules. These developments set the stage for explosive future growth, propelling it closer to the mainstream audiences. So when we say a prototype does not yet belong to mainstream audiences. It belongs to mainstream audiences. It belongs to mainstream audiences only when it becomes a standard. When it becomes a standard, a patented technology belongs to mainstream audiences. And what happens? That they start an anticipation process for further advancements that follow in the 21st century. In other words, pushing the boundaries of our emerging interactive era society, let's say, of interaction. We are in the era of interaction, and the boundaries are not static, they are dynamic. In other words, there's an anticipation of the future. This huge change is pulling us and pushing us to the boundaries of change. So we are like surfing tidal wave, which is much higher than all the tsunamis put together. I would like to thank everybody that followed this next live session. I hope you will be more and more. Engagement is a secret to make this live session interactive. So thank you for following, and we'll keep in touch next time with our new episodes of augmented reality, virtual reality, and mixed reality episodes. Thank you very much. Bye.